And let's talk about Charlie XCX allegedly being a thief and stealing Scott Ferreira's music. So, the Wuthering Heights movie, I haven't seen it, but I did listen to the soundtrack, and I will say I love the soundtrack. However, Scott Ferreira went on social media the other day and kind of implied that Charlie was out here stealing her demos and using them for the movie. So on Saturday, April 4th, Scott Ferreira dropped by a fan's Instagram comments after they reported a clip of the singer's 2012 music video, Everything is Embarrassing. Damn, she's been out of commission that long on Twitter. With the retweet, they questioned, I wonder what's her form of income. Now, Ferreira was led to the user's IG page, commenting on their most recent post, writing, someone sent me your Twitter account. I toured for years. I work. I hate to break it to you, but your favorite artist records my old songs. I hope that answers your question. XOXO Gossip Girl. No, she didn't say that last part. The XOXO she did say. So Charlie XCX's team has weighed in on Sky Ferreira's, who seemed to suggest several of her old demos were used on Charlie's Wuthering Heights soundtrack album without proper credit. Now, Ferreira was credited as a writer and vocalist on one album cut, Eyes of the World, but an exchange with a fan account on social media appeared to indicate that she made an additional contribution that weren't officially acknowledged. In a statement shared with Billboard, Charlie's team countered, insisting that proper accreditation procedures were followed and all credits were finalized and formally approved by the appropriate parties prior to the album's release. The whole thing spiraled out when a Twitter post by Charlie Ferreira fan account at Sky Ferrari, which has a sizable following and is apparently well known enough to warrant an Easter egg mention in Charlie's 360 video. They're quipping about how Ferreira, who notably hasn't released an album since her 2013, damn, it's been that long since her debut, makes an income prompted a response from Ferreira in Instagram saying, I toured for years. I work, hate to break it to you, blah, blah, blah. We already read that. Now, the fan account will then claim to contact an industry insider about Ferreira's alleged extra work on Wuthering Heights. They posted a screen grab of an alleged exchange with this anonymous industry insider who said the Chains of Love intro was ripped from an old Ferreira demo called Ancient Idols, and that the Wuthering Heights track Altars, which I do love that song, by the way, was based on another Ferreira demo from 2015. The original Twitter post containing the screen grab from this alleged exchange has since been deleted. Well, funny enough, if you listen to a lot of the music, it does kind of give Sky Ferreira tease in regards of like the overall, like the tone, the sound, the delivery, and the vocals, or even kind of like the sonicness of the music. So I was kind of thinking that in the back of my head, but then we saw like that she got that one credit, so it kind of got me wondering. And Charlie kind of been accused of stealing people's shit in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised. And it's a tale as old as time where you get a lot of these bigger stars who are notorious for taking other people's demos that aren't being used, and they use it for their own stuff. Like we heard, didn't Fifi Dobson recently come out and speak on that a lot of stuff that she had worked on because she was a black girl who was doing rock music, and a lot of her stuff was being passed off to people like Miley Cyrus and I think Selena Gomez at one point, and even um who else? It was a couple of others. I think even Demi Lovato started recording her stuff. So back on Instagram, Ferreira said the insider was wrong, though with the caveat, close but wrong. She declined to expand further, however, saying only it was definitely more than an intro. I have proof of everything with dates. It isn't worth the trouble because I know how the world works. Now, in a separate comment, Ferreira added, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm over being dragged and humiliated for no reason. It brought back a lot of things I worked really hard to move past. I don't want the actions of multiple people fucking things up for me and my album. I'm an honest person. People don't care about the truth. It's about whatever narrative is fitting or more exciting. I'm glad I could finally move on with my life. As for a statement from Charlie's team, it stresses that they said she always shares credits fairly and appropriately and values her collaborators tremendously due to her own history of working as a songwriter for other artists over the years. And I was going to say that, sis, now you run around here writing songs for other people behind the scenes because people did try to come for Charlie and her music saying, "Oh, she's not a good writer." Says that bitch. First of all, I've been writing a lot of songs for your faves that you may not even realize, and y'all out here trying to discredit me as a songwriter. She can write. The girl's good with her pen, but If you out here taking people's stuff and not giving the proper credit, I don't like that because I feel like people need to be fair in their own situation. But she's saying she is, and Sky's saying that people aren't being truthful in a lot of stuff. Then who do you believe? I don't know. I probably would believe Sky because Sky been through it, and I guess because of I'm trying to remember what was the reason why she was kind of like blacklisted. It from what I remember, I was having conversations with people. Robert was basically friend to the show was insinuating that it was she topless on one of her album covers or whatever, and people were being all conservative Camilla about it. So that kind of hurt her music release on one of her albums. I don't think it was the debut. I think it was supposed to be the sophomore album. They ended up getting shelved. So they also went on to say, ahead of the Wuthering Heights album release, a standard review process was conducted on a small number of tracks from the album, including fragments of material originating from earlier sessions. This process involved managers, legal reps, artists, and producers, and included a thorough review of archival materials and demo recordings. All relevant parties were consulted throughout, and the album was played in full in advance of release for everyone. Songwriting credits and splits were determined and agreed collectively in writing with interference in documented timelines and contributions. So maybe she was inspired and maybe heard some of Sky's demos, was owned by the label, and maybe took influence from that and just reworked some things. But if she's saying that she gave proper credit, then I guess if you're not gonna be fully transparent in the whole situation, I hate what she said that because she said, look, it took her a long time to get to where she is today, where people are leaving her alone, but she's tired of the lies. She's tired of the narrative that a lot of people have taken in regards to her career and a lot of what she's had to endure behind the scenes, which we don't know anything about. But it would just be nice if I feel like if look, somebody out here stealing your shit, you need to be a little more transparent. You can't just throw a couple of little crumbs out there and then we're still left confused at the end of the day. We still trying to decode all the stuff that you put out there and pick up the pieces because now we're just like, okay, we got some information, but now we're still kind of being left with a bunch of questions that have yet to be answered. So I honestly don't know what to think at this point. My brain is just all over the place, but I definitely want to hear from y'all. If you could decipher and decode all of this, let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Or should I say, who team we on? Let's do like RuPaul's Drag Race. Are you team Charli XCX or team Sky Ferreira? Like y'all gonna be team Darlene Mitchell when she win RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. Let me know in the comments down below.